In today's video, we are going to be covering team building in Neverness to Everness. There is a lot of nuances when it comes to it, and a lot of confusion I see here and there. So hopefully I'm able to help you guys learn how to make your teams and progress even better in game. In NTE, you need to learn that each character on your team will play a role, and it's already stated in the game itself. When you go to your character and click on this area right here, you will see that it does tell you your character is a main DPS. But if we go to something like MC, you'll see that it says burst DPS. Burst DPS are usually used to cycle in and out, while the main DPS is usually on field. If we go to a character like Sakiri, you'll see that she is damage, boost, and control. So this is a easy way for you to learn what characters play a role on your team. Usually you want one main DPS, two burst DPS here, and one support. The reason why I do not have a fourth character right now is because I'm actually waiting for Julian to get in a selector in literally 16 minutes from me recording this video. Another way you can build your team, let's say you're farming things in the regular world, you could add two characters that have controlling skills like gather. So if you have a character like Security that does gather enemies, that will obviously be really helpful when it comes to the regular gameplay. In NTE, there is going to be 6 attributes, and when it comes to team building, you need to know that Esper cycles can only be triggered when 2 or more adjacent attributes are on the wheel. And what does this mean? It means you need to at least have 2 characters with adjacent attributes for Esper cycles to be triggered at all. If your team has no Esper cycles, you'll have 0 swap QTE damage, and that's gonna be pretty bad when it comes to your gameplay. Now we're going to go over a important rule about triggering a cycle. So I've already increased my gauge. As you guys can see, the gauge is going to be the elements circle next to the level. And as you guys can see, for MC and not only it's not filled, but for security it's filled. So security is able to trigger a cycle. Once I click on not only will switch in with a intro skill and a Esper cycle. Now the problem with this is how Esper Cycle works is that it is only triggered by the corresponding element to it. So only non-elite can be activated. This is why it's important on team building what characters are right next to each other to trigger a Esper Cycle. So I'll switch into non-elite here. And the thing is with non-elite, since non-elite element is next to MC and security, non-elite can actually trigger MC and security's Esper cycle, but as you guys can see, security can only trigger non-elites. So here we go, just a little more attacks, and as you guys can see, since non-elite's element is between MC and security, non-elite is the one that's able to trigger both of them. So that is how trigger cycles work. So this is why attribute placement is going to be very important. On top of that, what's also going to be important is what skills you do have activated. Some skills are going to be better for certain content, things like Stain having increased damage taken by 20%, or Discord deducts a percentage of target to break. And these are things you can look out for when it comes to team building or a certain character you want to cycle out to have a skill activated. Another tip is that you can trigger dual cycles. So if you do have 3 elements that sync up together, you can actually trigger a 3 attribute cycle and a 2 attribute cycle. You can actually increase the damage of Esper cycles through cycle intensity, and this is going to be on every single character in your team. You do want this increased. How can you actually get cycle intensity? Well, you can actually get them from equipping the right art. It can also come from passive, but equipping specific gear is usually the best case. Now, cycle intensity enhances Esper cycle effects. When an Esper cycle is triggered, its effective cycle intensity is determined by participant with a higher value effect. And there are certain arcs in the game that can increase it, like The rain that shook the world. Deals 30% increased cosmo damage with the wearer's redirect skill, and ultimate increases wearer's cycle intensity by 36 for 15 seconds after casting a redirect skill. And this is why MC is going to be applied to a lot of teams, making Esper Cycles pretty good. Every character also has a unique interaction with a Esper Cycle. For an example, when it comes to MC can actually trigger healing when a character does gain ultimate energy from the charge cycle, as you guys can see right here. So this will call MC to trigger healing. Characters, only some of them can obtain buffs from certain cycles, can also debuff enemies and deal more damage overall. So this is where you're going to actually learn to read each and every character's passive to build the best team. Something that you do want to keep in mind is that when it comes to gear, certain buffs do not stack with each other, so please do not try to apply the same type of gear on certain characters to see if you actually get more output. You'll basically just be wasting your time. So a quick rundown on everything we really went over when it comes to team building. One, do you know your character role? How many DPS, healers, buffers, burst DPS that you do want to have in your team? Are my attributes actually right next to each other, as you guys can see in the wheel in the bottom right, to actually trigger Esper cycles? Which cycles are actually going to trigger on my team that will help me when it comes to rotations, avoiding stacking buffs that do not stack, being a waste of time, and if you are keeping aware of what every unique synergy characters have for the best gameplay possible. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. I do appreciate it. It does help out the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.